These challenging times have also taken a toll on our marriages. I want to take a couple minutes to address those of you who are married. I think that what's happening is that when we're home so much and we're with each other all day long, that small issues that we used to be able to put on the back burner, or things that were simmering underneath the surface but we thought we could just leave alone, are now coming to the surface. And with all the tension and the stressors, these minor issues are now becoming major ones. While these challenging times can be stressful, I believe that they can also provide opportunities for us as couples to look at our marriages and to identify, confront, and even work through the relationship problems that were always there. Working through relationship issues takes time, I know, and it takes intentional effort, and for some of you, it may even require therapy. But I think that even during these stressful times, we can address some of the issues that are coming up. It doesn't have to be complex and difficult as we work through these things. Part of that is, I believe that if we go back to the basics of what made our relationships begin and what made them good in the beginning, will help us now during these stressful times. With that in mind, then, think back to when you were first dating or when you first fell in love with your partner. Do you remember how you wanted to spend all your time with them and you wanted to learn everything you could about them? And being together was like the best thing. Well, I want us to take away two practices that we did when we were dating that can really help us now. The first of those is to actually focus on the relationship. Right now in the stress, you're probably focusing on everything else but the relationship. But again, we need to go back to focusing on the relationship. I believe that relationships are like plants that require your learning what it requires in the amount of sunshine, in the amount of water, in the amount of fertilizer, even in the kind of soil that the plant needs so that it can thrive. So something you can do right now is learn as much about your relationship as possible. What does it need to be healthy and strong? So something to do is for the two of you to sit down and talk about what makes a marriage strong? What does each of you see as a healthy and vibrant relationship? And by the way, children thrive when they know that their parents' marriage is secure and happy. So do this not just for yourself, but for the well-being of your children as well. Secondly, you can focus on your partner. That's what you did when you were dating. Your thoughts were wrapped up around what your partner was doing, what they liked, what you could do to please them. So right now you can do that as well. When I do therapy with couples, the turning point in therapy is always when both partners are willing to stop focusing on their hurts and pains and on their own needs and their rights, and instead to turn around and focus on their partner and their pains and their needs and what they require from them. This reminds me of James 3, verse 13 that we read last week together. James says, "Who is wise and understanding among you? Let them show it by their good life, by deeds done in the humility that comes from wisdom." In other words, which of you, the two of you, should start doing these things first? Well, whichever one of you thinks that you are wiser and more understanding, and I might even say more spiritual. Take that first step. Reminds me of Philippians 2, verse 3 and 4, where Paul tells the believers, but I believe we need to think about this in relationship to our wife or husband as well. "Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. Rather, in humility, value others above yourself," or I might say value your partner above yourself, "not looking to your own interests, but each of you to the interests of the other," or each of you to the interests of your spouse. So something for you to do right now is to be devoted to love your partner and make them the focus. And I would just encourage all of you to do what Romans 12:10 says. Outdo one another in showing honor. Doing these two things, these basic things of relationships. One, focus on the relationship with your spouse. And two, focus on your spouse and his or her needs. These two things will help you during these trying times so that your marriage not only just survives, but that it will thrive. So I bless you in your marriage.